Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Mental Dojo with yours truly, Dennis Procopio. I'm a life coach for men. I own Man Up Life Coaching in San Diego, California. I work with dudes here in the United States and internationally, talking about guy stuff, guy problems, things that are on your mind, things that are on your heart. And today we're going to be talking about yet another grueling, uncomfortable, awkward bro topic. So join me inside. I promise it will not disappoint. See you there. Hello, and welcome to the Mental Dojo. Today's uncomfortable topic is terror. Now, as a man, you don't want to admit that you are afraid of things. You don't want to admit that you're afraid of things because you're supposed to be a protector. Don't worry, women and children. I will save you. Stand back. I'm not afraid of anything except spiders or snakes or clowns or heights or whatever you're afraid of. People are afraid of stuff. Some people are afraid of death. I know guys that are afraid of death. I wouldn't say I'm afraid of death. I admit that I'm only partially certain I have an understanding where things are going. No one person can have all of the answers. But as a coach, I think I'm pretty far down the conveyor belt, and I've had some experiences, and I know some stuff, right? So I'm at peace with the idea of death. I'm okay with it. In fact, I don't have many fears, but there's this one fear that's been with me for a while. Man, I got a thing with rats. So I live in San Diego. I've lived a lot of places. I've spent a lot of time in New Orleans. Spent time in the city. I've spent time in the country. Mice. I guess I'm okay with mice. I don't love them. But rats. Oh boy, rats. Rats. Rats have always been a problem for me. Rats were so much of a problem for me that I once watched a movie. The movie's actually The Indian in the Cupboard. And it's a story about, it's kind of like Toy Story in the sense that the toys are animated and you see this whole movie through the perspective of the little, army man and the Indian in the cupboard. Right? At some point, this rat that was a pet rat that you have totally forgotten about jumps out, and I like just about passed out. Something way back there just went into shock, into panic, just like I'd seen a ghost. My body and my brain just reacted in sheer absolute terror. It's I guess a phobia, right? I'm 49 years old. I'm from the 70s, right? Philadelphia and surrounding area. I've seen some ghettos. I've seen some hard times. And I've seen some rats. Rats have the intelligence of a 5-year-old child. Rats are very social. Rats communicate. Rats move together. They coordinate. Rats chew through concrete. Rats can get their head through, a hole the size of a quarter. And if their skull gets through, the whole body gets through. Don't care how fat they look. They will just jump through. They're fast. They're strong. Their rats are not a joke. And I grew up afraid of rats, so afraid of rats. I remember there was a guy when I lived in Norristown, Pennsylvania. I used to hang out at Crawford Park. There was a guy just ghetto, ghetto, ghetto. And I asked him what happened to his knuckles. I said, "You punch a wall?" He said, "Oh, no, man, that's from the rats. They have my arm hanging off the edge of the bed, and the rats will pick at your knuckles, you know? It's just nasty." Terrified of rats. Terrified. So terrified of rats that if I were walking through the streets of Manhattan in the 90s, which is, kind of how I was rocking, I'd walk right through a drug deal uptown. No problem. Guys on the corner playing CeeLo or whatever, playing dice games. What's up? What's up? No problem. No fear. But if I saw a rat, I swear to God, I'd throw my girlfriend between me and the rat to try to get away from it. Just shameless. Why do I keep talking about this stupid rat? Because I'm going to tell you a story about overcoming a fear of rats. Not completely overcoming, but pretty good. Pretty good. It was so bad, this fear of rats. I'd seen movies where a rat crawls in a guy's mouth, some gross, I can't remember what movie I was watching, but it was like just scary stuff that gave me nightmares. I couldn't watch Willard. Just rats were just devils to me, man. I couldn't meditate. This is a true story. I couldn't meditate because every time I closed my eyes, I would start thinking like a rat was going to climb on me. I couldn't, like, I was afraid to use the toilet half the time because I was afraid a rat was going to. I'd heard stories about how rats got through the sewerage pipes and somebody would be on the toilet and a rat would just pop up in the toilet or something. I couldn't open a cabinet without always kind of being on guard just in case a rat jumped out to give me a heart attack and jump into my mouth and chew my esophagus out or whatever. I always assumed. I'd heard stories about guys in barns where the rat would like run up their leg and they'd end up having to choke it, grab it and choke it in their pants. My God, dude. Can you feel the pain? So terrified of these things. And you say, "Oh, get the fuck out of here. This is supposed to be man up life coaching." And this guy's crying about how he's afraid of a little rat. Yeah, tough guy. That's exactly right. Like, I'll hop in the octagon with you in a second. Win, lose, or draw, I'm not afraid of you. I can take my licks. But a rat's a different thing. I have a phobia. I admit it. But I wasn't going to take it lying down. So I decided, all right, this girlfriend of mine at the time, I was living in Rhode Island, and this girlfriend of mine came with me to PetSmart. I said, "I want to get a pet. I'm living alone. I want to get a pet." And I'm thinking of getting a rat. I'd had a ferret before, and I wanted to step it up to a rat. And she's like, "I thought you were afraid of rats." I'm like, you have no idea how afraid I am. That's why I want to do it. I want to conquer this fear. She's like, "Wow, okay." The fear driving there. Like I was going to my own funeral. Like I was a kid going to the dentist to get like 9,000 big long needles in my palate. Those ones that go in like forever. The fear, man, of going to this Pet Smart. I would go in and there's some young lady there and she's like, "Hey, how can I help you guys?" And already I'm doing what I do when I'm in a pet shop all the time. I'm looking on the floor to see if any rats have gotten loose. Because if anybody's going to get loose, it's going to be the rats. Who's the smartest ones in the place? Yeah. And a girl I'm with says, "Yeah, we're here to look at your rats. We're thinking of getting one for a pet." She's like, "Oh, okay, well, follow me." Now my heart is pounding. I mean, I really just don't understand. It's not like we're going to look at hamsters. It's like we're going to look at freaking demons. So, all right. And demons that know, like, they're going to look at me in the eyes and go, they're waiting for you. Yeah. So, all right. I get there and I look at these rats, and the moment I see their big rat bodies and their tails and their everything, I'm like, whoa, Jack, I got to get out of here. What am I doing? What is this? No, 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 no. And the girl I'm with is like, come on, come on, come on. We've come this far. And I'm like, God dang it. All right. Man up. Right. Man up. So, all right. I'm going to deal with this rat thing. Lifelong phobia. Here we are. This is the moment I feared. Interface with a rat on purpose. And the girl, she's got some little cute, freaking artsy, colorful haircut with the nose ring type of thing. And she's just like holding the rat like it's nothing. Oh, yeah, me and my boyfriend have rats. We live in a car or whatever. And so then the girl I'm with is holding the rat. And she's like, oh my God, she's so sweet. She's like, do you want to hold a boy or a girl? And I'm like, well, the boys are kind of bigger, right? She's like, yeah. They have these big testes and they drag them around because they have glands, and that's how they mark and they scent. I'm like, yeah, I don't need, rat nut sack oil on me. I don't need to get marked by a rat. Yeah, let me grab the girl. Let me hold her. And I put my arm out. And I know what's going to get me before it happens. It's going to be the warmth. It's going to be the weight. It's going to be the little fingernails. And it's going to be the quickness. I know this before it happens, and sure the hell enough, I'm holding the rat, and I'm like, and I'm waiting to faint because I'm like, I gotta faint. Like I could either faint or have a heart attack. I have a rat in my hand, and then I start going into panic mode because I'm thinking, I see it. It's going to run up. It's going to sense my fear like a dog. It's going to look at me. I'm going to telegraph that I'm afraid, and then it's just going to try to run into my mouth or in my nostril or chew my eye out or something. Just start tunneling around in my brain. It's going to sense my fear and it's going to kill me. This is what I'm thinking. And so I'm holding this stupid rat, this hooded rat. That's what they're called. It's a hooded rat. This girl rat. She kind of moves. She starts walking on my arm, and the girl's going, they can be very affectionate, so she might come up and want to sit on your shoulder or even climb up on your head. And I'm like, no, Jack. Okay, Odessa, get her off of me. Get her off of me. Get her off of me. And the girl I'm with is like, all right, all right. She grabs the rat. The girl's going, I'm very proud of you. That was really good. It's like, yeah. She's like, okay, well, I guess we're done. And the girl's like, the woman who works there is like, so what do you think? And in a moment of I don't know what the heck I was thinking, I go, you know what? Yeah, I'd like to bring her home. And the girl that I'm with is like, you're going to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I want to do it. It's like, oh my God, I'm so ready. I'm so happy. Candy. That's another story. But it's pretty good impersonation. So I get a cage, I get a rat, I get a water bottle or whatever. Yeah, water bottle. A little water. Yeah, I think it was a water bottle. A little food dish, a little hammock. Freaking rat hammock. This is really what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Not a rat trap. I'm buying a rat and I'm giving it a home in my house. Like that's, it's not what you do where I come from. It's like buying pet roaches. So, oh yeah, just you might roach farm. Yeah, I cultivate roaches. So, they're very social creatures, like super social. And if you don't like get them a friend or two or three, they will get super anxious. So much so that there are pet shops that won't sell you just a single rat because a rat will get super anxious if you're not around all the time. It's going to bond to you like it's like you're their other rat friend. And if you don't show them lots of attention and lots of love, they're going to have anxiety and depression, which I don't need a schizophrenic rat. So bring this thing home. She's in her cage. I name her Elise. 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 Like the song for Elise. And I get home and I open the cage. I put my hand in. I'm just waiting for her to chew my finger off and bite me, and then I'm gonna have to go. I gotta give it back. It bit me. I gotta give it back. And I hold her. She runs up onto my shoulder. I'm just thinking she's gonna. This is it. Here's the thing where she bites my face or something. She starts like kind of kissing my face and like kind of licking my earlobe and being cute like a cat. And something happens with me. I can't 100% put my finger on like exactly how to put it to you. But I was able to replace what I thought rats were with a new understanding of what rats are. What rats are is they're little animals. What I was working with was this insidious, hateful energy in the body, in the shape of a rat that wanted to just hurt me in some way. I don't know where it came from. It's a phobia, dude. I'm telling you, it's fucking weird. But this is what I had. And with this little rat, Elise, I'm not going to lie. I'd put her in the cage. I'd go to sleep. I'd get up the next morning. She'd be doing rat bullshit. I'd have to change her food or her whatever. And I'd open the door and I'd be like, okay, I'm putting my hand in your rat cage now. And my heart would pound every single time for a long time. But eventually I got to the point, and this is a true story. I got to the point where just like a ferret that I had owned, I just let this animal run around. Like I'd shut the room. It was kind of, I don't, it can't really rat proof a room, but I did the best I could. But she just kind of ran around. She stayed in the room, in my bedroom, stayed in the bedroom. I would meditate, like good old fashioned cross legged, sit on the floor and meditate. I would meditate. And whereas there was a time when I was afraid of closing my eyes because I thought that if I closed my eyes, like some rat would appear and hurt me in some way, I was now closing my eyes, laughing and smiling as an actual rat was running in one sleeve, out the other, up onto my shoulder, up onto my head. I would lie on my stomach and like draw or paint or something on the floor, and she'd be like frolicking, and a rat frolicking on me. There's nothing more liberating. There's nothing more liberating than being able to put terror like that to bed. I live in Southern California. We live on top of a canyon. We have 2 dogs, 2 cats. There are coyotes. There are hawks. There are mice. There are gophers. There are skunks. There are possums. There are rats. We have a grapevine out there. It's a food source. It's also a source of hydration. We do have pest control, but occasionally I'll see a rat. Before Elise, I would have had to have just moved. Like, wow, okay, the state has rats, gotta go. Where do they not have rats? We're living there. Now, occasionally I see a rat. I'm okay with it. The moral of the story is that risk creates reality. When you take a risk, it creates a reality that will replace the fearful story that you were working with, the script that you were reading off of. Whatever rats were for me, I was able to replace them with what they actually are. They're little creatures. If you think about the things you're afraid of, I have a client who is a hunter up in British Columbia. He's a hunting outfitter. He's sitting on about 2 million acres, and he has guys come up and hunt bear and moose and cougars and wolves and whatever other crazy, predators that can kill you back happen to be out there. The dude's a badass. He goes out fishing and he doesn't just catch fish. I mean, he catches like sea creatures. Yeah. And yet this is a guy who is terrified to talk in a group or in public, has like the biggest shy thing you ever saw. Big, beard, gun, trucks, bears, moose. I mean, he's the real McCoy, bro. You can't make this up. And so, like right now, I'm live on Facebook. I'm making this with the intention of posting it on YouTube. This guy, for him to do something like what I'm doing right now, would be the equivalent of me with the rat. So what's your rat? What thing are you afraid of? There's got to be something. There's a skeleton in your closet. There's something you're super scared of. Whatever it is, I suggest that at some point in your life, you make a decision and you say, I'm going to confront this fear. I've done this a lot in my life. I used to have body dysmorphia so bad it comes from, if you come from poverty and abuse and all that, it can make you feel bad about yourself. So, you're the guy in long sleeve shirt, jeans and sneakers on the beach. That was me. East Coast all the way. I was so ashamed of my body because I just was. That's what happened. Which is sad because I was an attractive kid. I really was. I was a nice little, Jewish Italian handsome kid. But I was ashamed of my body. I solved the problem by modeling for art classes. Buck ass naked. Yep. And you know who takes art classes? Girls. like 98% girls. So when you model for an art class, you're naked in front of a room full of college girls that are drawing you, and you have to stay still. And if you think feeling uncomfortable on the beach in a pair of swim trunks is something to worry about, trust me, this is next level. But I did it. I did it. Not only did I do it, I became a good model. I'm an artist, I draw. So not only did I pose, but I made really nice poses. These real man poses, thinker, doing something that shows my anatomy or whatever. Real strong, or look at my muscles or whatever. Action poses. People who draw like that. And at the end of the session that I sat for, I put a robe on. The teacher would, eventually get to know me, recognize me as a fellow creative, and say, "Hey, you're welcome to come walk around and see the art." And say, "Oh, thank you." Go walk around and look at the art, and the students would always be like, "Oh no, don't look at mine! I'm so embarrassed! I'm so embarrassed!" And I'd be thinking, "I just stood naked in front of you. You're embarrassed?" But they would feel so vulnerable having me look at their drawing. They think I'm judging them. I'd always tell them, "Wow, you made me look really handsome." You're not allowed to say, "Wow, you made my dick look good," or whatever. I can't say that. Like, full frontal nudity is still an issue to this day. You just don't talk about it. Just get naked. We'll draw. Don't talk about it. Don't catch an erection. Don't have your dick like fucking flexing and moving while you're drawing, or you're not getting called back. So if you're modeling and you're afraid that's going to happen, you better start thinking of baseball scores, or Oprah on the toilet or something. You just can't let that happen. But so that was good for me. I ended up becoming somebody who's really comfortable in his own skin. What thing are you afraid of? Public speaking? Dancing? Let's think of some more fear factor things. Spiders, snakes, gators. I've played around in gator infested waters in a freaking inflatable kayak in Louisiana. True story. What are you afraid of? I would love to motivate you to take a risk, because when you face your terror, you discover that you can come to terms with it. When that happens, you develop confidence and a weird little sick desire, almost like chasing your next hot sauce, getting hotter and hotter and hotter. You start to be like a little bit of an adrenaline junkie, and you want to do something else that scares you, and something else that scares you. And with everything that you do that scares you, but you conquer it, it starts becoming kind of a fun game. Sounds like something a life coach would say, right? So I'm going to end this by saying this. I told you my rat story. Told you my naked story. You get it. I faced my fears. I continue to face my fears. Even putting myself out here. I'm not a guy who really likes to put content out there. But here I am. If I can do it, you can do it. So, here in the mental dojo, I'd like you to consider meditating, grounding, validating, getting your mind right, choosing a fear, saying, God damn it, it's on. Me and you, let's go. And if you need a coach to help you with that, I know a guy. Right? Okay, on that note, I'm going to go. I hope you enjoyed it. Face your fears, man up, and I'll catch you on the other side. Peace. Well, guys, thanks for stopping by. It's time to shut down the mental dojo, throw the chains on the doors, lock the padlock, and get the hell out of here. But before I do that, would you do me a favor and hit like? I would appreciate that. And also, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, if you're feeling what I'm doing here, if you're smelling what I'm stepping in, go ahead and hit subscribe so that we can do this again, because the man cave just isn't the same when you're not here, man. And I mean that. Thanks for coming by. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.